Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the official ARK Podcast number 196. My name is Mistletoe, and I'm here with the core team. Your host for tonight, as always, the one and only Mr. Atlas. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you for the introduction, Mistletoe, and folks, welcome back to the ARK Daily Podcast. This is podcast number 196, Monday, May 15. Hope you all had a great weekend, a wonderful Mother's Day. Hope you got to give a call, send some flowers, or if you're lucky, spend some time with your mothers. We are understanding here, let's bring up the stats. The past 24 hours have really put the whole ARK ecosystem to date up against the ropes, as we've seen a narrative really built up the past couple of days of an ILC reserve that has been diminishing and really causing, folks to go into sort of a state of panic and fear and worry. We've been extremely fortunate. We've been spoiled, I think, through a project that has had fantastic growth, community-driven, organic growth. It's been so calm, cool, and collected. This is a bit of a shift in the rhythm for us here. For those of you who have really been here and participated with us throughout all these 196 podcasts, been on the journey, you've been able to witness a project that has really stepped up and delivered not only a fantastic ROI DApp that took 10 months to create, brilliant minds coming together, a fantastic team of developers working full-time 7 days a week. We have really enjoyed to see so many investors in probably one of the worst of times, if not the worst of times, in crypto, receive an offer from this team to get a fast ROI at 2%, have the opportunity to get into the foundation, participate in Spark rewards, receive 100% on average APR paid out in BUSD daily, enjoy also the legacy NFTs, which have paid out to date around 41% to the investors that came in very early. Smiling faces is what we're used to. A very pleasant, empathetic, professional atmosphere where education, safety, respect has been priority. And we've received so many messages, so many thank yous from the investors saying, hey, I've got my ROI. The contracts are set up so that you're able to win really in the bear market. Very proud of the team. I'm proud of this community. You have all been absolutely amazing, wonderful. We've seen new content creators, folks that have never written a Medium article, made a YouTube video, step up, get out of the comfort zone, and share their story, their journey. We've had so many people come here as well with many questions, thinking that ARK is a bit complicated, but through spending time asking the right questions, doing due diligence, booking private appointments with our coaches who are full-time employed here 7 days a week, being able to learn how to play the game, how to earn, how to diversify into the different parts of the projects, the different contracts. And it's been nothing short of amazing. We're also understanding that there's a lot of opportunity that in the recent couple of weeks has presented itself into the market. And we're seeing folks get involved with, S coins that have for some created great speculation opportunity. At the end of the day, folks, we are all investors. ARK is a great bear market solution when there isn't the degen plays just screaming, the grass is greener, folks. Let's go over here and ape into XYZ token or protocol in a way where we're understanding. At the same time, we can see that ARK it may be a bit slow and boring for some that are looking for the fast plays. And with that, I've personally experienced it with real friends in the real world who haven't been around since the days of the Safe Moon, if you go back in time, who are aping into a lot of this stuff. And they're looking at ARK like, hey, no, 94 days to get an ROI. No, thank you. So we're not here to finger point. I think this team's been absolutely fantastic. This community has been amazing. And we have to shift with the times. We've already been working so hard. We launched a world-class mobile application that we haven't seen any team in the space do. If you haven't downloaded it yet, go ahead, download it. Check it out. We've always said from day one that our end user is not the ROI DApp expert, DGen, DeFi, staking, PhD, MetaMask, Web3, WizKid. It's the average Joe, the average Jane, the bus driver, the farmer out there in the world, people who are living every day paycheck to paycheck, that are struggling, that are seeing inflation really take a foothold. And we've understood that we have to create the tools. We have to get the mobile application. There's 1.4 billion people in this world who are unbanked. These are adults, and they all have a cell phone. We're seeing inflation in Argentina, 100%. They don't trust their banks. They don't trust their governments. DeFi is the answer, in our opinion. That's where we're here. We've helped a lot of the folks in the space get that win, but our true target is much greater. We've always said if ARK reaches only 100,000 vault accounts, we would be an absolute failure. When you take into consideration the talent that is here, that is able to build quality products. And we've been very, very focused, very busy. Our off-ramp virtual Visa MasterCard, the Air card, is going to be dropping this week. That is a anonymous system where you could load up your crypto in less than 15 seconds, have that on your phone, go to a store, load up on gas, pay at a restaurant, or purchase online. Absolutely fantastic, completely private, anonymous product that you can go ahead and use. We're also bringing our on-ramp, and these are the two solutions that complete the mobile application so that it's very easy for investors to go to a barbecue, meet with some neighbors, sit down, show them the progress they've had through time here, the great wins we've seen here in the ARK ecosystem, and sign them up with a completely private way where you don't have to take a selfie, send your social security number, front and back picture of your debit or credit card. It's really a free of KYC, no KYC system that's going to be very fast and efficient. With that, we're also letting folks know there are banks out there, for example, Chase, Revolut in Europe, that when they see a transaction coming in for financial assets such as crypto, they're going to deny the transaction. They have their own products and they have their own policies. They don't want the liquidity going from their bank accounts of their customers. So we're also working on a second and a third option for the fiat on-ramp so that we are able to really cater to everyone on a global scale. So as that's coming in, months and months of work, we've had a partner with a Lithuania exchange that is furnishing us the ability to use their FCA, crypto exchange license so that we're able to qualify and sign these contracts and plug into these systems to offer that to our community. Otherwise, it would take us around 2.5 years to 3 years on a waiting list and about 500,000 euros to afford the ability to operate as ARK, fully regulated and licensed for crypto. So we've done a great job. We're very proud of the work we've done. I could tell you that the team, since going back, I believe, February, has not sold ARK tokens. I personally, very proud. I haven't sold a single ARK token myself. We've always said to every investor that the only way this team wins is when our investor base wins. We've made the sacrifices. We've put the hard work in. We want everyone here to get the win. And we are fully in integrity with every action, the transparency that we've provided here to the community, and the great joy that we've had to see folks really win throughout the system. We're obviously experiencing, if we look here, total vault accounts, 5,200. It's very slow, the buys that we're getting in. The liquidity is at 759,762 BUSD. ILC reserves, 269,855. I'm going to be clear with you, the issue here is not the cells. The system was created for everyone to get their payments on a daily basis. The issue is the buys. As the distractions that are happening in the space, more opportunities all around, we've seen a sentiment of investors focusing on other opportunities that are offering very fast, high returns, high risk, high reward. And if you're following some of these, meme tokens, we don't know how long this is going to last, but we're already seeing a couple people get wrecked, crying. And we believe that sooner or later, they're coming back home to continue to grow and bring their friends over to the system. But the ILC is doing exactly what it is supposed to do, protect the liquidity. And when we have been enjoying all these months of a very balanced, sustainable system, it's because we're having buys and we're having sells. When there's a disbalance, that's where you see the ILC take control, protect liquidity, price going lower, and really affecting everyone. With that, we've also created a few weeks back a presentation of our roadmap. If you haven't seen it, please do go and check it out. I know that not a lot of people tune into the podcast or even check the notifications or the announcement channels, but you're all invested, you're all earning, you're all doing fantastic. But we'd encourage you to get involved and see what we've been doing. Besides the on and off ramps, we're creating a decentralized VPN service, as well as cloud storage and password management, all based on zero knowledge. We've done a lot of education here explaining for months what zero knowledge is, what it means for the future. At the same time, understanding that we have a responsibility to all of the investors, that if we're on the Binance Smart Chain, we already understand there is pressure happening over at Paxos, pressure happening to Binance on a worldwide basis, looking at them leaving Canada right now. And we feel a threat is imminent as to the longevity of Binance. And we do not want to be here caught like a deer in the headlights to find out what is going to happen. Some folks will say, but wait, Atlas, we know that, till February next year, BUSD is going to be fine. CZ will find an alternative. Yes, that is a fact. However, there is a witch hunt. They have a target on their back. Our liquidity is here. Our investors are here. There's a lot of folks, most folks who work very hard for their money, and they're depositing them here in full faith into a multi-year program and system that we're creating here at the ARK. It's a long-term play. It's going to have its days of great stability and growth. We're going to have cycles as well, depending on what the market is doing, of downside. We don't feel there's a need to panic. We have done a lot of research. We have found that going to Polygon is the absolute best move for ARK, for our investors. You have Disney, you have Bentley, you have also Mercedes-Benz, you have Starbucks, you have huge corporations with great brands, recognition, market share, who are building on Polygon. But we want to go a step further and build on ZK EVM, where we're looking here at transactions that are going to be costing it's going to be in Ethereum, let's be clear, not Polygon, for gas, but it's going to be 0.0001 of a cent per transactions. So that's going to, be a massive gain when you're looking at a system that has a lot of transactions happening with the compounds every single day and the claims, airdrops. So I don't want to go too much into the detail of what's happening, but I'll give you the macro view. We're releasing a utility token as we cross on over to Polygon that's going to really bring a lot more value and an opportunity for folks not to leave the ecosystem, but to be able to really stay here at ARK with the team that they've been able to trust, to grow with, to share with, to learn with, which is one of the, I think, most difficult parts of being an investor in the space. To find someone you can believe in, that you can see is actually putting the work in every single day. So with the utility token, that is going to really be the centerpiece, the backbone of the decentralized VPN system that we're launching. We understand that the centralized systems, whether it's storage, VPN, there really is no anonymity. These are corporations that are selling your information, reporting to authorities all around the globe. And through a decentralized VPN, we're going to be able to maintain a much higher level of privacy, anonymity, security through our transactions and really everything that we do. So again, you're going to be able to find all that information in the presentation. And the folks that have been here, who have been paying attention, who have been learning with us, they're very excited. They're all really wanting to come into this project. And as part of alleviating pressure into the sales of the system, as we're really coming into can admins please mute whoever is unmuted and hot miking, please? Thank you. As we're moving forward into the launch of the utility token, it's called ArkNet. We are bringing all of these products into the ZK EVM structure, taking advantage of the technology, low taxes, a great place to build. Especially the narrative is important as we're moving forward into crossing into the average Joe, regular person investor, a new person that's coming into crypto. We've been working for months creating our landing page or Zoom presentations as we're starting a live presentation every single day on Zoom. We can have up to 500 people at a time. As of now, we're going to be able to upgrade that as we grow to explain to them how ArkFi works, how the foundation could be a high yield savings account that's liquid. You can bring your cash in. You can bring also your crypto stables out. And we're also planning on a ARK gold-backed stablecoin with vaults out of Switzerland, out of Singapore. Again, more information out there. But as we go into this raise, we're going to offer to all the ARK investors, especially those who have been here the longest, a great opportunity to come into the new utility token that's going to be launching over on ZKVM, over on Polygon. And as that, we've always talked about giving back to our investors, to our community that has been with us here for a very long time, who have won the system. Some of them have already, 2x'd in their investment and done extremely well. They're legacy NFT holders, but we have to be fair and offer it to everyone. So they've been stacking and holding their ArkFi tokens to be able to come into our new contract that is the pre-seed round. This contract's really fascinating. I'm going to let Brett come and tell you a bit more about it and break it down into the pieces of how it actually works, so that as you come into the system, you're pretty much burning your ArkFi token, but you're still earning every single day. We're here to create passive income where all the investors are winning. And this is what we've come, accustomed to. This is why everybody's been so happy here at ARK. And we're continuing really in the same business model as we've had before, just offering a whole nother layer, a token that can get the 100x or the 1000x, as you're going to need this token to be able to participate in the decentralized VPNs, as well as the products. You're going to be able to save by holding that token on the on and off ramps. You're going to be able to have options to get cash back. There's a whole affiliate program that's going to be also a centerpiece of how we market and how we grow the whole ecosystem. With the drop in price that we're experiencing now, we're anticipating to really let everybody come in at a price of around 571, 572 BUSD for ARK. However, we're at $4.02, and we've had a massive sell-off, and really it's subject to no buys coming in. So what we want to do here officially is to explain that we're going to offer to all of the investors that are holding ARK the opportunity to come into the new pre-seed contract at a price of $5 per ArkFi token, where you'll be able to come in and earn 2%. Now, this is a limited time opportunity. We've been saying this for a couple of weeks, breaking it down for all the investors. And that'll be a period of 5 to 10 days. And then the next period of 5 to 10 days, you're going to find that you're not going to get to 2%. You're going to go lower to the 1%. So the key here is to really stack the tokens, as folks have been doing, so they can come into the system, earn, and on the same side, Brett's going to explain to you, you're earning the new token. Our plan here is to do that $5 per token for the first round. And then after, you're going to be able to come in, but at the price value where the ARK price may be. So it's really important that you folks, take advantage of that $5. And when you're looking at what you're getting in tokens for the utility token of ArkNet, our idea here is that the folks that join in this pre-seed round, you cannot buy with cash BUSD. You cannot go to PancakeSwap and purchase ArkFi so you can get in. It's only for the investors who have earned it out through the system, following in line with the fairness that we've always created everything here at ARK. Nobody can go and buy ARK and just dump it on anyone else. So our plan is to give all investors who join this program a 5x from the pre-seed to the actual launch price. Now, there is going to be a vesting period. We're looking around 15 months with a staggered ability to sell on a monthly basis, as we do not want, when the launch happens of ArkNet, that this great community that we've given this friends and family situation, hey, be that small 1% that really gets in with the rest of the team and advisors into the project. We do not want the greed to take over and them to come and dump on everyone else, including the private sale investors that are coming in with their stable coins. We have to keep a very fair and balanced system. So we believe this is a great offer, very fair. It's our way of taking care of the investors who've really stuck it out, been here with us, and at the same time, give everyone the same opportunity. Now, there's going to be folks that are not going to want to partake and come into the pre-seed. That's fine. You can continue to do your compound and claim and continue your strategy here at ARK. Whether you're in the vault or the foundation, you're going to be able to continue to play. Now, we do understand there's a rebalancing here of the price until we find the floor. When we find the floor, when we understand how many people are going to come on over into the new contract, and those tokens are really, out of the system, then we're to see who stays in the system and who's doing a strategy that, whether it's, high compounding or they're high claiming, we're going to be able to find that floor. And when we find that floor, we're going to be able to rally at that floor and really push and go out there. Because right now, folks, we're seeing that people are afraid to purchase, to buy in, to bring a friend, a neighbor, a coworker into the system, because there's just no certainty where the floor is. We also have seen today a couple of people, hey, let's buy the dip. I'm going to DCA and I'm going to come in hard. We do not want people to get wrecked. We don't want people to be irresponsible. And I think it is up to us to be very transparent and clear. Folks, let's settle back a little bit. Let's let the cards fall on the table. Let's let the folks get educated, come in here, listen to what we are creating and doing. We've been explaining this for weeks on end now. and seeing what choices everyone's going to make. We're not going to, put a limit. There's been suggestions. Hey, why don't you guys limit the amount of ARK tokens that people can sell? And we're not okay with that. That's not something we would ever do. That's really changing the rules of the game and, tying people's hands. That's not fair. We've seen it done many times before. We've seen many people upset. And quite frankly, we believe that's betraying your community. We have to keep it going the same way that it's been going and letting everyone make their own decision how they want to continue. The ArkFi, DApp, everything is continuing. Huge marketing is coming in with the on and off ramps. We're getting started, but we want to make sure first to find that floor. We're also going to be taking from the Pancake Swap $300,000 worth of BUSD to support and guarantee all of the investors who are coming and burning their ArkFi tokens in exchange for the daily percentage, the APR that's going to be paid out in the new contract, as well as they're going to be getting the tokens awarded to them in the new system. Also, the assurance that the cash is there for you to sit back and be calm, that there's plenty of BUSD to pay everybody out. And with that, we're going to find, like I said, the price stability, the floor. People will be able to come and buy in at that level, bring their friends, and we're going to have like a round two of the sustainability that we've been able to afford for so many months. But there has to be a rebalancing, and there has to be assurance for the people that are buying. Hey, that's it. Everything's balanced out. We have a clear price. We have a clear floor. Everyone is rallying. The AMAs are happening. New investors are coming in. The mobile application is on fire. It's got the on-ramp, the off-ramp, the Zoom presentations, the multi-level marketing, the affiliate program. Everything is firing on all cylinders because that's what we've been building here for so many months. So in a sense, for us, nothing changes. We're just having to accept the reality that with the market conditions and everything that's happening, we've had a slowdown in the interest of coming into the system, which was doing absolutely amazing during the bear market. So we have to recalibrate. We've seen so many folks get their ROI. We're concerned about the people that last week purchased, the last month that aren't at their ROI yet, who are being affected, but they also have the opportunity to come into the new system, get their ArkFi tokens locked in at a price of $5. You're looking at a 5x from the launch price, which is absolutely fantastic. And we all get to continue to thrive and to win. I'm going to turn it over to Brett Nordine so you can tell us a bit more of how this amazing contract functions. It's definitely something that Mr. Green has said is the best contract he's ever written. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that was a great summary. I appreciate that. Even, as a team member and investor as well, I think the level of transparency that you just laid out there and what we're going to be doing. I did want to clarify one point. You mentioned the liquidity, the BUSD. We're also removing ARK. So the price of ARK is not going to be affected as we shift some of that liquidity over into a pool that everyone will be able to see and utilize that, as you mentioned, to satisfy this pre-seed contract. And I'll go a little bit more detail about the pre-seed contract. You mentioned that they would have an ability. Someone's hot micing. Hold on a second.
Yeah, we're trying to find it.
I got it.
Okay, thanks, Mr.
And thank you, everyone, for your patience and waiting till after we give all of this information. And we're going to open it up to a Q&A where everyone's going to have an opportunity to ask questions or give suggestions. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's great to see everybody come out and support what we're doing, and all of the outreach in the Telegrams, my DMs. I've gotten calls. It's been amazing. So we appreciate all the ongoing support.
This is Brandon. I am streaming on my YouTube channel and I'm answering questions to the best of my ability in real time in the chat. So if people want to watch the podcast through my YouTube channel, that's an option. So sorry.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's kind of shed some light seeing people come into the to the Telegram channel and Discord as well, with just, so many questions, basic ones that I thought, a majority, if not all of the ArkFi investors were aware of. So I know that there's a large population of investors that don't know much about the roadmap. They don't know about the on and off ramps, the DVPN, the privacy network. So this is a great, I would say, awakening for our community and an opportunity for education. And Atlas, you just gave an amazing overview of what our vision is and how this is really a long-term project. And we're really in our infancy. We have, just over 5,000 wallets. So we need to put everything into perspective. And you mentioned, let's find the floor. And the people that are in this room, I would assume, are the people that are going to help us find that floor and then rally behind us, because they're the ones going to be the most educated and see the opportunity and understand that there's real utility here. There's real utility coming, and real utility is going to lead the next big DeFi, bull market, and even the bull market in general. I think a lot of people know that the S coin, the meme coins, those are going to get, to a large degree, probably regulated out. So what we're trying to do is position ourselves for what we believe is the coming boom cycle in crypto. And it's going to be related to privacy. It's going to be related to real utilities. And so that's really what our goal is in building. And then using those things to feed back into the ecosystem that we've already built through the legacy NFT holders, and also to maintain the price of ArkFi, at a level where everybody can get the win. We've talked about that, I think, ad nauseum, but just wanted to reiterate that this is all about recirculating funds back in to support the protocols. And we think we've got a great plan to do that. And it starts with the pre-seed contract. So I'll go a little bit into detail. We are working on a light paper that will have more of this detail, but as Atlas mentioned, we've made some progress in terms of tokenomics. So I will share that when you do deposit the ArkFi tokens into this new pre-seed contract, you will receive the $5 value at a starting point of that ArkFi token. So basically your account balance will be awarded $5 for each ArkFi token that you put in. There's no minimums. And then once they're in the contract, you will then earn a yield, a daily yield, just like you do in the vault contract, but it'll be in a USD value, basically a BUSD value. And in the beginning, we'll probably have it at about 2%, but that will be the highest for the entire pre-seed round. The pre-seed round may last 3 weeks. It may last 6 weeks. We really want to make sure that we include as many people as possible, but we also don't give away, the store with this. We are going to have a cap. We may or may not disclose what the cap is going to be, because we do have to pay out this yield, this BUSD yield, for people that are making the deposit into the contract. So basically, you're going to add your ArkFi tokens to the contract. We'll have a D app, and you'll connect your wallet just like you do right now for the vault. You'll make the deposit, and then your account balance will reflect the value of the number of tokens that you've put into the pre-seed contract. Then every day you'll earn, every 24 hours you would earn, let's say 2%, and then that value will show up in your available rewards. If you deposit additional ArkFi tokens at least the value of your available rewards, those rewards will both get swept into your account balance. So it's like compounding. And then also that same value will get pushed to your wallet. And that's like what Atlas mentioned, that, we're going to pay a yield in BUSD on deposits that are made into the pre-seed contract. So you're not losing by depositing your ArkFi token. It's not like a sacrifice or anything like that. You're still earning a yield. And if you get in early enough, you're earning that yield at a $5 level versus whatever the price of ArkFi is at that moment in time. Then after that preliminary 5 to 10 days, let's say, we're going to watch and monitor the participation rate. If the participation is lower, then we'll extend it to, approximately 10 days to 2 weeks. If it's really, really high, then we may cut and cap it, because obviously we want to make sure that we still have a lot of inclusion, but then also we can't, pay back a giant liability that would hurt the project ultimately. So we just need to carefully balance that. And I think we've done a good job of that in the past, especially during our ArkFi launch in December. So then once they're in the contract, we will run different periods of time that will have different yields tiering down. Let's say we start at 2%. We could tier down 0.5%, 0.5%, 0.5%, maybe once a week would be a schedule we can communicate very easily and people will understand. And then we will finish and close off the pre-seed round with the private whitelist sale that we are going to hold for the token. And at that point, we'll have, a lot of the details ironed out. We'll have a lot of the marketing materials and things that people would expect to have for a private pre-sale. That light paper will start evolving into a white paper as we move towards launch. So once we're in the private pre-sale rounds, we're going to have a series of public pre-sale rounds, just like we did with ArkFi in December. And that's going to lead up to the public launch. And as Atlas mentioned, we're going to allow the price that your account balance will purchase from the pre-seed contract to be at a level where you're going to end up getting a 5x price increase when we go to the public launch. So that's kind of what our targets are and how we think things are going to shake out. I have a draft of the light paper finished. We've talked about that. We're just ironing out a lot of the tokenomics, and we want to take our time. We want to make sure that we do this right. This could be a huge layer 2 network that a lot of other applications, not just ArkFi, builds on. We are calling it ArkNet. It's going to be marketed as a layer 2 network built on ZK EVM. The initial applications will be our own. So we're bootstrapping this and building utilities on top of it. So we'll actually have applications right away that other developers can take, white label. They can also use our developer tools and other things to build other applications. But it's really a node network that is completely decentralized, completely autonomous, and completely secure through the ZK EVM technology. And we're going to do a lot to make sure that our network is, diversified as much as possible, but then also allow other application types like secure storage, like the passkey password manager that Atlas mentioned as well. So we already have some initial applications that ArkFi will develop and build on top of ArkNet, but we'll be welcoming other projects and other developers to build as well and make that as easy as possible for them. The primary use case for the token will be to pay for all of the services and also applications that are built on top of ArkNet. So this new privacy token will be the primary utility token it'll be the sole utility token, I should say, for the network. So it's very exciting. Other projects that you could say are similar, maybe not having the same tech stack, or even have utility out of the gate. We've seen very, very big multiples on tokens like that. So it's an opportunity to get in the ground floor of very forward-thinking technology and very good market fit in terms of privacy being at the top of everyone's mind right now as we move forward with the CBDC narrative and regulations and limitations on a lot of the traditional finance products and banks and everything else that we're seeing. So yeah, that's kind of the summary of it. I don't know, Atlas, if you wanted to add anything to what I mentioned or if I missed something, but I'll turn it back over to you for that.
No, that was great. Thank you so much, Brett, for doing that. And let's go ahead and open it up for some questions from the investors.
Yeah, hi, if I may. Thank you for that, guys. This is very
Yes, sir.
impressive set of, it's ambitious, I mean. Okay, the 5X that you mentioned, you've today now clarified that, based on my understanding, for every ARK we commit to the pre-seed contract, ArkFi from the vault, only coming from the vault, we would be getting honored $5 worth of ArkNet token that starts to be credited and compounding in that pre-seed contract, correct?
That is correct for the first opening. Remember that there's going to be a $5 to $10 day limited window. Once that closes, you're going to be falling into the actual price wherever ARK may be. And then you're also going from the 2% to the 1% payout. And then it's going to be the week after that dropping to 0.5% and so forth. So I like to call it the hourglass contract. Whoever gets in first is going to be able to really have the most reward. And that's all set to alleviate a lot of the pressure that's happening as we get the buys back in. This is a very limited time opportunity that we've been talking about. I'm pretty sure you've been paying attention for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I do. I try to grasp what is. It's involved, but it can be broken down. So you're saying, yeah. So it's only for the first 10 days you're honoring the $5 credit or the $5 worth of ARKnet for those contributing pre-seed from their ArkFi, right? And of course,
and at the highest rate of return of 2%, and at the highest rate of, and at the highest ROI, that will also diminish through time.
Yeah. Will that mean? Does that mean the 0.5% ending? It's not going to end at 10 days. It's still going to take a few weeks to step down, right? Week by week, right?
We're going to see how the participation happens. We're going to have caps as we understand that there's liabilities. So once we reach the cap, that's what we say an average of 5 to 10 days. We can't tell you exactly how many days, but once it fills up, that round closes. Then we move on to the next round.
Okay, and then you mentioned your goal is to make this rich for early investors such that we can see potentially a 5x on launch price. So that means you're planning for a 5x in the launch price of ARKnet relative to the price that you're setting from the pre-seed level, right? For the whole process.
That is absolutely correct. But it's not just for the early investors, it's for every investor. And there isn't a minimum. We want everyone to have a fair opportunity to get in. However, we've seen investors that have grown in the system, to a very large level. We've got max wallets in the system. They're going to have the biggest opportunity. They came in heavy, they came in early, and the folks that came in later who also have been, following a good strategy of compounding more, withdrawing less, they're also going to have that opportunity. Since we announced this, a lot of folks have been stacking their ARK tokens. They've bought into this, they've done their research, they've been here to the presentations. Crypto Badgers did a fantastic explanation of zero knowledge and how this all really ties into the decentralized VPN. Also, Jishan Vanquish, great video. A lot of people don't understand this technology and what it really holds for the future, why we're building this. So everyone has that great opportunity. Obviously, the folks that have been here longer, who've grown more in the system, that are earning a lot more ArkFi tokens than the newer investors, are going to be able to seize the day, and they deserve it.
Great, that's attractive, and it's fair that you want to provide a vesting schedule. You said 15 months with different staggered liquidity over time, and I'm wondering, do you have an idea on when that launch would be? Is it like 6 months, more like 5? I know it's just, do you have a month idea on that?
Not exactly, as this all has to be carefully put together. It is also taking into consideration that we're not just going to launching that there, but we also are migrating the whole ROI, the app system, NFTs, foundation, everything, all the contracts over to ZK EVM. If you look at the roadmap, we have some, indications as to when we believe that we're going to be making the migration and the launch. I know if Brett, maybe you want to add a little bit to that.
I think, it'd be premature if we made any announcements like that. But yeah, we've kind of laid things out at a very high level in the roadmap. And we have some targets for that migration. But yeah, we need to make sure that, we do everything properly on our side. Obviously, there's a lot going on. The contracts are compatible and ready to go, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be ready to move immediately. We also have the ARKG, the gold token. That's a component of it that we need to still sort out and spend time on. So yeah, there's a lot to do. So yeah, I would be premature, I think, to give a defined date for that. But certainly, our targets are this year for sure.
Sure. Okay.
Another option. Look, another option, NATO, is that we go ahead and launch here on BSC and then migrate that over. That is another option that we can look at as well. So, we would have our equivalent of the ARKNet token, do the launch here and then migrate, or go in and do that launch first and then migrate the ROI DApp. So there's different options, and we don't want to, put ourselves into a corner right now until the decisions are made and we really see how fast that we can accomplish this. I know that we've really acquired a few developers with experience in the ZK EVM and decentralized systems and traditional VPNs, as well as what's happening in that whole sector onto the team. We've been growing by quite a lot. We have plenty of cash reserves to build, to market. So as you know, we work 7 days a week, 16-hour days, and it's all about building. And now you're starting to see really the results of the work. We accomplished a mobile application. That was really a huge success, something that we're extremely proud about with the quality, the design. Everything is just at a fantastic level, really set for the growth in, the real world, the newbie investor. So it's just adding more value, more investment opportunities, and pushing the bar up, which is what we do here at ARK.
Excuse me, related to ARKG, will that precede the launch of the ARKNet?
I don't think so. I ideally believe that they're being managed, and we're delegating to different leaders as we're creating these teams to specifically develop those parts in those businesses. So, as we grow and we have more developers here on the team, participating on a daily basis, the idea here is to be working simultaneously and growing all of those projects and bringing them to fruition around the same amount of time. But obviously, we're going to have to integrate and launch, one after the other, and do it in a fashion that just fits the profile of everything that we're doing here in the direction.
Right, but if you launched on BSC, you would do that before ARKG because you wanted ARKG on Poly. We wanted the migration to happen before that. Correct.
That's why I say we have several options of how we want to roll it out.
We're planning right now to launch the privacy token, the ARKNet token, on BSC and then migrate it over. That's the current plan.
Great questions, Nato. Do you have any more? We always love Nato's questions.
Later. Yeah, this is fair. This is fair with the timing and everything you're sharing. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and we're giving everyone their choice, how they want to continue, and everything keeps going as before. We just understand that to build the buyer sentiment and confidence, that we have to find that floor. We have to continue with all of the plans that we have and educate so many as we really have a thriving system. We've crossed the 5,000 ARK Vault accounts, and not everybody's here, tuned in, tapped on into what's the development that we've had here. But the folks that have spent the time, have been close, they're understanding play by play every single day. Podcast number 196. I could, point out 30, 40 people that pretty much can tell you everything inside, out, and backwards. So we also have, I believe, a responsibility to reach out to all of the investors in the system and explain to them what's happening. We don't want anyone coming back later, crying, hey, I was never told, I didn't have an opportunity to stack my ArkFi tokens. So this is, like Brett said, a great opportunity for kind of like a wake-up call, so folks can come back and see what we've been working on, what we're doing, the direction, and understanding that all the work that has been done and scheduled is coming out now, like the on-off ramps, the virtual cards, as well as the Zoom presentations happening every day, different languages, and really tapping into so many folks that are facing inflation and looking for fintech projects, looking for opportunities where they're able to use crypto as their bank and to use the foundation as their high yield savings account, use the legacy NFT as their long-term investment that's paying them BUSD every day. And eventually that'll be ARKG, which they could, claim, have it sent over in the mail, their gold, or even segregate over at the vaults their own account with their own KYC and full control of their ARKG tokens.
Yeah, hi. Let's just have a quick question, please.
Go right ahead, sir.
Just for clarification, the pre-seed round, you're talking about ARK tokens that are currently in the vaults. And then for the DVPN, you're talking about liquid ARK in wallets. Is that correct?
I'm not sure what you mean, Nick, about liquid ARK wallets.
I meant ARK tokens that are in our wallets. Those are the tokens that we have to commit to the DVPN opportunity, rather than the pre-seed for the ARKnet is the ARK tokens that are in our vaults, locked in our vaults.
I'm still a bit confused, but let me try to. Or did you understand it, Brett?
Can I
Yes. Yeah. I know what he's asking. You'll have to use ArkFi that are in your wallet in order to deposit into the pre-seed contract that is for the ARKnet token.
Right. So it's got to be in the wallet rather than what's deposited into our vaults, which is locked in our vaults. It's got to be in our liquid wallets, our own wallets. Yeah.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I just have a quick one as well. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
I was just curious. You guys mentioned there's a cap for the pre-seed round. Is that a cap per investor and the amount of ARK you can deposit, or total across all investors?
It's a total across all investors.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else?
I got a quick question. How's the 5x work? How do you guarantee 5x?
I had one for you.
Hold on a second, Rooster.
Yeah,
we have a question before you. If we don't want to be rude to the gentleman, it's okay, buddy. You're next. Thank you. The price that the pre-seed is going to be set at. Let's just do an example, right? If it's 10 cents per ARKnet token, we're going to be doing a 50 cents launch price. So at launch, the price that folks would be paying at launch would be a 5x, so a 50 cent. That's not numbers. That's not tokenomics. I'm just giving you an example for you to be able to understand what that 5x means. Did that answer your question, sir?
Yep, that's fine. Thank you.
I got a question. Why is the price dropping?
Sure, go ahead, Rooster.
okay.
You're on, buddy.
Okay. I just had to take a call about this whole price dropping thing and explain it to a guy that I just got in a few weeks ago. But hey, so when is the pre-sale going to begin, or our private sale? When is that going to begin, and You remember when we launched on ARK, there was a limit. So I missed out if I might have missed out on some of this. I don't know if the question has been arisen, but what is how many ARK are we going to be able to spend and buy of the tokens when we do this? Is there a
Good
limit,
question,
a cap?
Rooster. There is no minimum and there is no max. Oh yeah, absolutely. There is no minimum and there is no max at this point per wallet, per investor. And we're trying to get this done. I mean, the contracts have been ready, I think, for over 12 days already. And they're verified. Folks can go ahead and take a look at it. Really fantastic contract, which Mr. Green still says to this day, the best contract he's ever written. So we're estimating, ideally to do it in about, let's say 12 to 15 days time from now. Give enough room for everyone to really have an opportunity to stack their ARK tokens. We don't want folks to get left out in the cold. So we know a lot of investors have already been stacking. They're getting their positions in. And look, the idea here, we don't want to shortchange anyone. We don't want to leave people behind. We don't want to make it such a small, window as well as an amount of ARK tokens so that people feel that they didn't really get a fair shake at it. So our intention is really simple. We want to make sure that the people who have been here with us are going to have an opportunity to come and grow with this team, grow with this project, and feel that their contribution really has been valued. And also that in interest of understanding, there's people that invested last week or 2 weeks ago that are very new in the system. Some have gone in and gotten max wallets of $25,000. Right. We want to make sure that day two are valued. We do not want to leave any single investor behind. So kind of the more time that we give it, I think the better opportunity it is for everyone to have a piece. And since it is a short amount of time that this process is going to happen, it's going to alleviate a lot of the pressure on the ROI DApp, the liquidity. And once that's closed, we understand that through there, we found our floor. We're going to have more buyers coming in, new investors coming in, and everyone's going to continue their path here, their growth, their payouts every single day, as we've been doing for, almost 6 months now. So we're going to get to come back into it. It's not, I'm sacrificing this and I'm letting it go forever just to go play this other game. It's not that at all. It's a release valve to create the opportunity for folks to continue to grow with the team.
So
Sounds great, man.
I'd like to just clarify and make sure I'm understanding correctly. So before the pre-seed contract is deployed, people can save up as many ArkFi tokens in their wallet as they want. And they will be able, there's no maximum to that initial deposit when the pre-seed contract gets deployed, and you have that first opportunity to deposit the ArkFi tokens that you've been stacking in your wallet. There won't be a maximum to that initial deposit. Is that correct?
That is correct.
But then once the contract is deployed, people will be able to continue depositing ArkFi tokens, every day as they do their CWR and the withdrawal. They'll be able to put some more in there, and they'll continue to get that $5 of value per token, at least for a few days, maybe as many as 10 days. And then it'll drop to where any additional tokens that you deposit into the pre-seed contract will be valued at whatever the current price of the ArkFi token is, correct?
That is correct, and you'll be earning a lower ROI in that.
Yeah, your daily rewards rate will also drop from 2% down to 1%, or maybe 0.5% at a time.
Right, and you also want to compound during that window at whichever stage you are able to make that deposit, so you're able to really get that boost into your initial deposit. So there's a game theory that's really interesting that happens in there that we can't wait to break down and share with you in all the details.
Right, especially as you're continuing to get a full $5 of value for each, ArkFi token that you continue to deposit after the contract is deployed. You're still
Correctamundo.
For a period of time. Yeah, I like it. And then above and beyond that, once the pre-seed contract is all finished, then essentially that whatever capital we have saved up in our pre-seed contract deposit balance through depositing and compounding, that gives us a certain credit to be able to buy the new ArkNet utility tokens at the lowest possible price. Like you gave an example.
Oh no, you won't have to buy it. It's given to you for free.
It's okay. So it's so you're credited, and so let's say let's say you've saved up $1,000 worth of value in the pre-seed contract. So then the pre-seed contract ends, and you get $1,000 worth of the new token at the lowest price. And then between that price, let's say, like your example, let's say the price is 10 cents. Then once the public launch happens, the initial public launch price will be 5x higher. So using that example, it would now be 50 cents.
Correct. And in between those two events, you're going to have, private rounds like we did, here when we started with the ArkFi project. So that's where I think a lot of the FOMO and hype is going to come in for those to come in and also have an opportunity to get in pre-launch.
And those will gradually step higher and higher. And so our original price that we got in using the pre-seed contract will remain the lowest price. And then the next private round a bit higher, the next private round a bit higher, and then the public launch 5x higher.
Yep, you got the friends and family deal.
Awesome. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I completely understood it.
Thank you, Brandon. Great questions.
Hey, Atlas, I got a quick question for you again. That guy I got off the phone with, he's trying to sell 200 ARK right now, which I said to hold off on, but it's not allowing him to. Is there something going on?
No, everything's working perfectly. Go ahead.
Did he top his bond up today, Rooster?
What's up?
Did he do anything with his bonds today? Did he top his bond up with ARK?
No, this will be the first time he's cashing out. So he was just wanting to know. It just rejected him. He sent me a picture of it, and it said it wouldn't allow him to sell 200 ARK.
Is it giving him a JSON error?
Second, let me look. Says yes, it is.
All right, so that's usually one of two things. He's either not got the BNB to do the transaction, or he needs to approve ARK before he sells it.
Okay, I'll let him know.
The blue button.
Thanks, man.
No worries. Hit me up in DMs if you need any help.
All right.
But share the alpha with him, because he's going to be crying later if you sold that ARK.
I did, man. I totally showed him. I was like, hey, you need to save on and hold on to them. And the price will go back up. Everybody freaking out. And I'm like, you guys need to stop freaking out. Just chill. It'll come back up. But whatever.
Sir, I think you could emphasize that the price right now is a little under 4, right? So we're going to be honoring, ARK is going to be honoring $5 credit towards that pre-seed contract. So he'll immediately get a boost, and not only that, get the compounding effect. So if he's not in a hurry with liquidity, that might be a good play, to consider. It's because this was just
Absolutely.
mentioned in this AMA.
Yeah.
Not financial advice.
Yeah, right. I'll give him a call back. I'll get off of here, and I'll. Thanks for everything,
Coach.
guys.
Otherwise, we'll just blame you if the price keeps falling.
Right? Jeez.
Hey, Atlas.
Hey, buddy, Mr. Big.
Yeah, hey, I've got an important thing to say to everybody in here. This is a little something different than what we're talking about, just so you guys are on board. If you guys had been trying to win the Spark with just bond and you were at the borderline, you better check. It's dropped below 250 if you're at the border because the bond price dropped. So you might have to buy a little more bond. So if you're thinking about winning the Spark today, and you found out that it says you're not eligible, you need to bring it back over 250. That is a public service announcement from a grand old man that knows how to work the system.
The wise man. The legacy NFT holders are very calm, cool, and collected. They're automatically in. And, one thing that we are discussing here, is actually seen as understanding that there is, price fluctuation, and we're looking for the floor of perhaps, dividing the Spark price into 3 or 4. I mean, the Spark price has grown huge. It's been amazing. So maybe opening that up to build some more confidence and reassurance as we're finding our floor and we're feeling all comfortable to go out and bring people in as the machine is this week getting started. We were just in a conversation, before the podcast, Brett and I, of like, do we do the Zoom presentation tomorrow? And, we're looking at this and saying, maybe let's push it off for a couple of days till we get you through this transition, get the messaging out, as we don't want people coming into the system when there's so much volatility, and we don't want anyone to get hurt. I think you've understood from this team the transparency. Let's find the floor. Let's educate everyone. Let everyone make their decisions how they want to move forward. It's up to every investor to look at the presentation of what's coming, wait for the exact details of the contract that we're, explaining to you now from a macro perspective. And then, let's rally, let's get the people in here. I do not like the narrative of, hey, DCA, when we're still defining the direction and educating everyone. We do not want anyone to get hurt. So as we do this transition, let's give us a couple of days. We're going to back away from those presentations. Let's look at, also giving more opportunity to the investors, because as price fluctuates, we don't want it to become just a whale game for the Spark rewards. We want it to be an even playing field for everyone. But very good point you said there, Mr. Big, to top up on that. And today we're going to release it the way we've been doing. 90% is going to the Spark Prize winner. 10% is going to the biggest, syndicate member that's brought in the most liquidity. So I think by tomorrow we'll have a final answer from you, and we're also going to open that up to some suggestions from the community.
Hey, I've got a question. For those of us who decide to invest into the pre-sale or pre-seed, what would be the vesting period upon launch?
We're looking at a 15-month strategy, and we're fine-tuning how progressive it'll be. Obviously, we want to be able, for the first couple of months, to have the least amount of sell pressure from the community. We really want to give the opportunity for the token to do what it has to do, and respecting those folks that are coming in with, fresh capital, fresh stables into the system. We don't want them to have a fear that the folks that are here in ARK that are really been our day one investors are going to betray them and exit. So it'll be a staggered amount that you'll be able to sell, but we haven't made the exact final decisions. But I can tell you that we're going to do it in a fair way so that everyone has upside potential through the launch and through time.
So it's going to be frozen for 15 months, the 100% of the amount, right? It will not be released
No,
by
sir.
China.
No. I'm saying the opposite of that. Let's say for
All
the
right.
first month, it's, maybe can be like, 7%. Then the next month it'll be like, 6%, doing it in a staggered way so that you're able to earn from, the pump and the initial launch and all the great things that happens there. But we're not having anyone abuse and being able to sell 100% of it and giving it out into a staggered schedule where in 15 months you've been able to sell 100% of your tokens.
Yeah, sounds fair. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it has to be. Great question, by the way.
Hello, can I ask a question, please?
Yes, sir, of course.
So, please be patient with me here. I just found out about this like a little bit ago. So, this is the first time somebody max out a wallet or two, right? And he cash out, and that's the impact, 25% down on the price of ARK. How many people? Go ahead, please.
No, sir. No, this is not anyone dumping on anybody else. The system has been really created to allow a fair balance. The system's grown exponentially, very balanced. It's a system that's built for the investors every day to get paid rewards, to get their ArkFi tokens and be able to sell them and get a quick ROI. So there's no one to blame here. No one's done anything bad from the investors on the team. On the contrary, it's been absolutely amazing. What's happened, sir, is there has been a slowdown in the amount of new investors coming into the system. And with that, there's been a lowering of liquidity because the system's paying out at a fantastic rate to all investors. New investors at 2%, investors who already received the full 100% return on investment, they've dropped down to 1%. Other investors have redeposited and grown bigger in the system. This is all fair. This is all healthy, except the fact that there's been a slowing and a lowering of those new investors. And that's caused a lot of fear for the whole investment community. Hey, should I bring my friends? Should I invest more? Should I talk about this? And at the same time, we're seeing that there's a lot of opportunity into, shit coins, let's just call it what it is, where people can make 100x in an hour or lose it all. It's like going to the casino and putting it all on red. And there's a fever in the market of a lot of that happening right now. And it's distracting a lot of the investors. I have friends who I haven't talked to in 2 years or more calling me and telling me they're going to invest into Pepe and Ben token because BitBoy is promoting it and this is it. And I'm going to become a millionaire. And they are not wanting a steady, stable project with return on investment. So that's a lot of what's happening right now. And we think, it's going to slow down. It's going to die out eventually. Pepe is 70% down as of recent. So people are getting hurt and they're going to look for value. I hope that helps.
So how long it will take for the price to go back to what it was, 5.71, if any?
It's not a thing about time. It's impossible to say. It's first of all, understanding that we have to find a balance. Where does the balance come from? The balance comes when you have an equal or greater amount of sellers and buyers on both sides. And that's what we've been enjoying for almost 6 months. A super stable system where everybody's really growing. So we have to, I don't know how well versed you are in crypto terms, but we have to find our floor. We have to also take pressure off, as we're doing here with what we're trying to explain to everybody, with the pre-seed contract that's coming that investors can come into. And that's going to take sell pressure off and allow for the buy pressure to come back in, as we have a fantastic mobile application that is getting a fiat on-ramp, off-ramp, debit cards, virtual, physical cards. You can go to the ATM and withdraw your profits as well. So it's just a time of finding that balance. And through that, we're going to be able to see upside. But telling you, hey, it's going to take a week, it's going to take a day, it's going to take a month. It's a very difficult thing to even give an opinion and a timeline on.
So what should a guy like me do for now?
How long ago did you join ARK?
From the beginning, from the get-go. Actually, I'm surprised that anybody is maxed out, actually, because I don't know. How
exactly.
Huh?
Exactly.
How?
I mean, this project has done so much for so many people. It saved a lot of people during this time who came in, and there was not a lot to invest in. There was not a lot of hope. There was not a lot of, abundance and stability. So thank you for saying that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, like I was there from the beginning, from the get-go, from day one. And actually I did not expect anybody to max out at any time soon. And trust me, I was putting as maximum money as I could. So I don't know. Some people maybe started with 40 grand or something, a wallet. I don't know. There is no way.
You can't put a 40 grand into a wallet. I think our max wallet's around 25, 26K. Is that correct, Brett?
Alice, I think, what he's not quite getting is somebody could have deposited 4,000 ARK in their account to start and had one of the platinum or gold NFTs, which allowed them to compound at a higher rate. The withdrawal part of it, they could have been redepositing.
Correct.
So, that would have increased, which everybody can do. I know I was doing that on a lot of my wallets, just redepositing the withdrawal, and that just grows your account quicker. And while all the things we put into place to slow that growth down, there's still ways that you can increase how quickly you get to max. But the max wallets aren't causing the problem. There's very few wallets that are maxed right now, and it's not a overabundance as far as what's being sold. It's across the board, all 5,000 wallets that's causing the issue right now.
Thank you, Chris.
I think it's just market growth, expansion of new users. I don't think we're top heavy. I think it's just growth of new people. We seem to be good.
Hello, can I ask a question?
Hi guys, good day. How y'all doing? Hello, could you all hear me?
I can hear.
I think we lost you.
Could you hear me now?
We can hear you. I think we.
I can. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. My question is, how does the ILC, the Intelligent Liquidity Controller, play a part now that we see a dip in the price? Does that automatically kick in? I noticed that's also being lowered. Could you explain a little bit more on how that plays a part into controlling the liquidity and maybe perhaps controlling the price, if any?
I got disconnected, just coming back in. Could you repeat the question, please? Or Brett, did you hear the question?
Yeah, he was just asking how the ILC controls the price. But, you know, in this case, the ILC was overwhelmed with sells versus buys. And so what the ILC will do is protect itself by, keeping the buffer pool of the ILC reserves intact as much as possible while letting the price decrease if there's tremendous sell pressure. So it protects itself essentially from the run on the bank scenario that we've kind of gotten in the last 48, you could say the last week or so. It started, and then as more groups decided collectively that the sentiment was negative, that's when the sort of the buying shut off and the selling kept going. And that's what Alice explained.
Okay. That's kind of like what I figured. It had some kind of automatic threshold in there that will keep some reserves, but I wasn't sure. Appreciate it.
I have a question. Can I ask it?
Yes, go right ahead, sir.
Thank you. Based on the suggestion given by the team to probably hurt some ARK and not sell them, to wait for that pre-sale or that pre-seed, and the promised value, it's $5 for that pre-seed, then would it be fair to say that we're not expecting the price to go above 5 in the next couple of months of the regular ArkFi and the regular swap in the site, not speaking about any other projects?
All right. Can you hear me? Because I am having some connection issues.
We can hear you.
Toad, I'm okay? Okay. Great question, Gary. Look, it's not to fall into assumptions as to what the future holds in a few months. I understand the question. We're analyzing and getting ahead of what's happening right now, and we're doing everything in our power to fix it and to create the stability and the confidence that we've been enjoying all this time. So we are understanding, looking right now, we just dropped to $3.92. We're understanding that just 48 hours ago, we were, around the range of 571, 572. And we want to honor our investors and say, hey, listen, we want to give you this opportunity to come in, because right now there isn't much we can do to bring liquidity in when there's fear and nobody's really, rallying to buy, until we find the levers and be able to control a floor where we see that we have momentum again for the buys. So until that's, reached, until we can reach that equilibrium and balance, we have to understand that we're not going to go back up. We need a pretty massive buy volume to come in to take us back up, which we're working on right onto schedule. This week, we're going to do our Zoom conferences and live presentations. So we're going to continue with that. We're going to continue with the launch of our virtual air card. But we're being realistic and offering folks an opportunity to come in and find that value at that $5. I hope that answers it.
It does. And looking at the green 2%, it's a tempting thing, and you keep, sometimes the what you withdraw, you prefer to, reinvest it, so you can keep it there. And I personally got to a point, I got a couple of NFTs at the pre-sale. And I put some more money, in these months. I've been, putting some money, withdrawing some money, feeling like I have done my initial ROI. and putting more, towards the balance, right? In order to not lose that green 2%. But in the last couple of weeks, it's been in my mind that question of when am I going to stop, and when am I going to surrender for the 1%, and start getting and just getting and just withdrawing. Well, not just withdrawing, but everything that you get, that percentage that you get every day, to really withdraw it, and not have the pressure of the green 2%. So I guess that the same way that I've been thinking, or the same spot where I am, there's a bunch of people in that same spot where they're making that decision of staying, of letting go of the green 2%. And if that's the case, and this was the time when the mechanism to protect the price, stop protecting it, or allow it to go from that stable 5.7 that we've had to something as low as 392. It's not the math, because it's very hard for a brain to just do the entire math of where are we standing. But 48 hours going this 20%, it's it doesn't smell good. It doesn't look good, unless that you tell me that in your algorithm, there's a reason, or there was a predefined floor chosen to protect the price, right? If you're telling me that the floor, it's still in works, we still don't know, there's no kind of like the stable decision on the treasury, or in the in the mechanism that supports the price, that's where I'm a bit concerned. That's where when I start thinking, how is it that there wasn't no decision on a floor, when something, when it's a private algorithm that does have decisions. I don't know if I'm explaining myself correctly, or because I think I understand, but I might not understand some things that it's why I feel that there's some risk. Well, there's always risk, not risk. That's not the word. That our hope is that it's going to continue going down.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this may, if I'm right. Yeah. So the ILC isn't so much protecting the price as it is the liquidity. Once it got down to a certain amount of liquidity, that's when the ILC is letting the price drop. Now, this is being caused because simply there's more sales than there's buys coming in. But the ILC is basically there to protect the liquidity. And if you notice, that's not changed as much. Would that be correct, Brett?
Not for me. I'm not sure if it's just for me.
Yeah, just repeat that last part.
I think, yeah, I caught the gist of it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So we've been watching the stats in the back office. Alex has tools and things, and there hasn't been any I mean, maybe one or two new wallets have opened, and just a landslide of selling. So, I mean, if you want to say it was coordinated, or if you want to say it was a group sentiment, whatever you want to say, everything shifted from, hey, come on over to the ARK, everything's great, to I want to sell everything and don't bring anybody else into the protocol. So that's how the community sentiment went, and nobody likes it. We don't like it, obviously, but there's nothing we can do about it. So as Atlas mentioned, we want to find a floor. We want to be able to support the floor and have people with the long-term vision, as well as, from ArkFi, as well as ArkNet, come to the protocol with confidence and and be able to bring buyers back to the table. Because we know that the way that this works, I mean, we're just being fully transparent. We understand how all this works. Once the sentiment turns and everybody, and you can see it in our chat as well, you know, oh, I was going to invite my parents to be in this, but I'm not going to now. So if everybody thinks that same way, then obviously you're not going to grow. So we want to find the floor. We want to protect the liquidity, which is exactly what the ILC did. And in this case, unless everybody's willing to change their sentiment right now and bring buyers to the table and everybody start buying back in, then we're going to find our floor.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, the 5.7 for this long, it's been great. I mean, there's a lot of things to be grateful for. It's and my theory, you know, my own theory is that pre-sale was very, you know, there were the ranges for the pre-sale were so identical. You know, it wasn't that you could, you know, start with 300 or with 2,000. You know, there was a set amount of tokens that you can get with depending on the NFTs that you will get. So I guess that the chunks of people that came, or that we, you know, the majority of the people that started with those NFTs, they have more or less the same amount or the same range. So it's you know, it's a coordination because of the way that these started for a lot of us, for a big majority of the users, and more the, you know, hardcore users that we've been here for you know, from the get-go. So it is only normal to think, it is only you know, normal to feel that, or to think that if you bought one NFTs in each of the stages, or that if you got, you know, there's a lot of people with the same amount of tokens that could be thinking about losing that 2% into a 1%. Now that's good because people, you know, there might be a big chunk of people that will start, you know, using a slower machine, you know, not a you know, a 2% machine, but a 1% machine. So that you know, that alone should provide some stability. At least that's my feel.
Besides that, when is okay? So this new seed is not for the DVPN; it's for the ARK launch on Matic, right? I think that's what I read from what I read.
I think they were saying that it's going to be launched on BSC, and then we'll be migrating over to Matic when we do that.
Okay, so this is a new coin for privacy, and it's going to be the one that's going to be on Matic. So it gives us a chance to take our ARK right now and still keep it at $5 for the new raise for the migration. Right. That's good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
That's good.
So, real quick, I have two quick questions. Number one, for if we're talking about finding a floor and new money and deposits slowing down, I mean, with this information going out to investors like myself who are now going, well, if the new coin we can only buy with money that's in our wallet, obviously that's going to slow down reinvestment, correct? Which is probably going to push the floor down even lower, if I'm understanding correctly, or should it, if people are deciding to go that route. That would be concern number one. And is there anything in place to help balance that? And then number two, and I know it's been talked about a lot, but I just want clarity on the 5X portion of it. Is it going to be 5X our tokens, or is it going to be that the public round is going to be valued at 5 times higher at price than what we've bought in at?
Yeah, the second part that you just mentioned, the public price will be 5 times higher than the pre-seed round and private sale price. So I'll give you the chance for the 5X.
Right, perfect. Thank you. And then as far as the first part goes, I mean, if people are going, oh, I'm going to collect my tokens in my wallet, then we're not recompounding as much, right? So that's probably going to drive the floor a little lower, correct?
Well, so what happens when you take coins out of your wallet versus redeposit, what happens to your NDV?
No, you would have to keep some there if you're trying to stay at that 2% still, keep your NDVs there. But I mean, it certainly would limit what I have to reinvest in that to do that, right? So, and if we just take that over 5,000 wallets, we could throw percentages out there. I'm just want to make sure I understand correctly, because obviously from this call, people are going to and should be getting excited about the new coin and the new program. But I would assume that's also going to slow down. Instead of me reinvesting all my coins, I might just keep enough there to keep my NDV where it needs to be.
Well, compounding won't make the price go up. It's going to take people. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So first of all, to answer your part of your question, the only way people can participate in the pre-seed contract is by having an ARK Vault account. That's the only way you can track tokens in your wallet. So to the extent people want to participate in the pre-seed opportunity and pretty much a guaranteed 5x, people will need to buy the ARK token and start a Vault account if they didn't already have one. And secondly, when you do your daily allocation, maybe you're doing 50-50, maybe you're doing 60-40. The idea is the tokens, whatever number of tokens you withdraw every day, whether it's 50% or 40%, or maybe it's even less because you have an NFT and you're compound and you're doing a higher CWR. Regardless of the tokens that you're compounding, the tokens that you're then withdrawing, rather than taking those tokens over to the swap page and selling them, creating sell pressure, you're now stacking those tokens. You're leaving them in your wallet. So you're going to have more buying. So you're going to have more buying because from people that want to get involved in the pre-seed, and you're going to have less selling from people that want to designate their tokens for the pre-seed.
Fair enough. That was my confusion. I just wanted to. So if as long as they're sitting in my wallet and I'm not selling them out for cash, that's not creating more sell pressure.
Correct.
Fair enough. Thank you for clarification.
Now, what happens when
like and subscribe?
Guys, what happens when all of these funds go to the pre-seed? They migrate to the other. When you guys will tell us everything that you have accumulated.
So when you deposit tokens into the pre-seed contract, those tokens go to the tax vault. So it's essentially a virtual burn. So those tokens, you're removing those tokens from circulating supply. You're stacking the tokens in your wallet, and then you deposit them into the pre-seed contract. That's a function where tokens are being removed from circulation. They're going into the vault behind the scenes. You're getting credited $5 each token towards your principal balance in the pre-seed contract. And at the same time, you're removing those ArkFi tokens from circulation, beefing up the vault.
Right. And that can be done. I understand. But there's, if those tokens will provide no value to the new project, we are effectively just, printing from thin air. No?
Well, that's the way every new token starts. Every single new token that's ever created is printed from thin air, Bitcoin included.
No, well, yes, I understand that in a sense. But, let's say you create this token, the pre-sale, you put it on a treasury and you put it on you distribute it on your algorithm. So there's money in the vault, in the ILC or IL, the liquidity protector, and
people participating. So I think I know what your question is. So let me see if I can answer it. So people participating in the pre-seed contract, that is not a function where liquidity is being added. It's just a way for ArkFi investors like us to be able to get some skin in the game, and get some of the new token, get a certain supply of the new token. Now, after the pre-seed contract is completed, then you have at least 2 or 3 rounds of a private sale. That will be a liquidity function. So people will be able to buy at a private pre-sale price with maybe BUSD and or BNB. So that will be a more typical raise function where you're raising capital for a new project, right? And then the public sale and the launch is more of the same. Make sense? Did I answer your question?
Yes, it does. It makes sense. It's everything that I thought it was. Thank you.
Perfect.
Right.
That's good.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, I mean, for good or for wrong, it's everything that I thought. Thank you.
Yeah,
I want to tap over.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that there's going to be a lot of ArkFi investors too that want to become node operators, and so they're going to want to stack these tokens. And even though we have the vesting period, they're going to use those to earn additional rewards. So getting in early, obviously gives you a bigger bag, which could go towards becoming, a node provider, which is what I want to do as well. So I have an ambition to do that off grid and with my solar system, and build a rack and have servers and everything to support this project. So that's what I'm excited about.
Absolutely. I want to turn it over to Bizy Dips and see if we can get some perspective. Him and Max Power are doing the weekend review here. Check out their channel, the Crypto Badgers. They really have the pulse of what's happening here in the ARK, every single podcast, and we're big fans of their work. So I would love to hear, their perspective. Are you available, Bizy Dips?
Yes, sir. I think just in relation to this privacy token, I mean, Max and I have probably been involved in I have to be over 100 different launchpad projects over the journey. And to be honest, this is about as good a one as I've seen. And I think today you've shed some more light on, how people can participate. And I mean, the fact that people are going to be earning, yield on the deposits into that contract, and also getting a price that is normally, I would say, restricted to VCs, at the end of the day. I mean, you're getting a pre-seed price with a private sale pricing that's going to be, 5 times higher than that. That's a 5x right there, plus the yield you've earned during the pre-seed round. So, I mean, from our perspective, it doesn't really, get to look much better than this. And just in terms of the project itself, I mean, from our perspective, we're looking at, privacy-orientated solutions on a very, very hot new chain. We think Polygon ZK EVM is going to be a real banger, and I applaud the team for, going down that road. And then you've got the privacy narrative on top of that. I think this is going to be big. These solutions that you're offering, the decentralized VPN solution, passkey password managers, and I'm sure there's more that you've got planned that you're not even telling us. I think this could be a real banger, and it's going to appeal to an entirely new audience other than just the ROI DApp community that exists in a small corner of Binance Smart Chain, which I think I tend to agree with you, Atlas. I think Binance Smart Chain, I think they've got some real headwinds ahead of them. So I think we've got an opportunity to speak to a great new audience. I think the opportunity for ArkFi investors is huge. And I know from Max and My's perspective, we're banking as many ArkFi tokens in our wallet as we possibly can. I mean, obviously, no one's forced or, coerced to go into this new deposit contract, but we're certainly going to be going in as hard as we can.
Thank you, Bizy Dips. And for folks that don't know what ZK rollups are, zero knowledge, please do check out the Crypto Badgers channel on YouTube. They did a great piece explaining it, breaking it down. Jashawn Vanquish also, we're going to post here his video where he's breaking it down for you as well. Fantastic technology. We've been, really anticipating and excited about the rollout of ZK EVM. And we know that's, for us, the best place that we want to go and build. I also want to bring a perspective from the friendly whales here at ARK. They have been absolutely amazing. We've had folks that have really made huge investments into ARK, have done very well for themselves, and have really kept pace with everything that's been going on. I don't know if Eternal, you would like to speak, get your perspective, because I think a lot of the folks are wondering, well, what are the whales doing? Are they selling? Are they continuing? Are they excited about the direction? What's happening here on the ARK? All the development that we've been doing for all these months.
Howdy.
Hello, brother.
My take's been, seen this happen before, and for the right mindset, it's an opportunity. I've seen, for me personally, like I've seen the foundation, people are doing what it was set out to be done with, and people have been selling bonds, it looks like, and my rewards have been going up. So it kind of seems like the timing is where people have had the chance to get the 20% taxes covered and make some extra money. And if they're, selling them to put it in other, coins or whatever they're doing, it's, for me, it's giving me a better position. I DCA'd this morning, and now the price is cheaper, so I can DCA tonight. There's a gap between, the utility that's coming out, and I don't know, it's kind of exciting because, this is how it happens. The ILC is what has, prolonged this from happening like it happens in every single project I've ever been in. And the last time this happened was with Drip for me, and it was at $2 for a month and a half. And, I ended up retiring from it because I bought the dip there. And now I'm excited about this new token too. I actually got my wallet maxed just for this event, and now I've got something to do with them. So, but I'm excited. You gotta, either you believe in the team and the project and the tokenomics, or you don't. I have a little bit better understanding of the ILC now. It's the way that it's set up seems kind of genius, where it's it takes more buys to raise the price, less sells to lower the price to protect itself, to ensure the longevity of the project. So, it's, I don't know, for me, it's definitely still, it's a great place to be. I have a bunch of people asking me what's going on and this and that. But a lot of people haven't been through this, haven't been in crypto a long time, so they don't know. So, it's up to the people that have been through it before to let people know. If you believe in the team, what other team has produced stuff and actually met their promises. There's other promises being met this week. I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out. And, I hold the legacy NFTs also, so I'm looking forward to seeing it impact that. And I'm loving that I can take my legacy NFT money and put it into ARK to build up my smaller wallets and get a better position. So, it's all about mindset and perception. Right now, we're surrounded by abundance, and we're along for the ride. And I'm looking forward to seeing how things unfold. We're going to be okay, in my opinion, and looking forward to this new utility.
Thank you, Eternal. And what are your thoughts on the honoring the $5 prize for the folks that are stacking up the ArkFi tokens and coming into the pre-seed? How do you feel about that, the action by the team?
I actually like it a lot because it gives me a target. I can see, I can know exactly what's going on. It's not going to be volatile like the price. And, it just allows, and plus the being able to compound the tokenomics of the new contract. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it and getting my tokens in there. So the $5 price seems perfect, and I'm going to do my best to get hard and heavy in the first one. And now I've got a new part to my strategy.
Yes, sir. Thank you for all your support. And, he's brought so many friends, family, coworkers into this project, just like every single investor here. The success of ARK has been organic. It's through every single one of you, and you all care about this project as much as we do. I'd really like to shout out the team. There's months and months, and you can ask our advisors as well, of absolutely no sells. We've ensured that the investors in the project who brought in their hard-earned money have the win during the bear. And, this is an adjustment for us. We've had nothing but great stability and sacrifice and hard work and producing. Kelly Snook's been amazing. Her sister, Rebecca, as well. The great folks here, Chris Dugan, AirFire, he's created the studio here that we're using to do the podcast. There's been so much quality from all these folks, so much sacrifice. It means everything to us, and we always put the investor first, forward facing. It's hard to be CEO in the hard days, but this is what it's about. It's very easy to come when everything's stable and nice. So a bit of an adjustment, but something that we feel a responsibility. We're indebted to everybody here, and that's why we work so hard to continue to expand, because we always said it from day one. It's a long-term investment. Our target audience is not the ROI experts and DeFi experts. It's the mom and pop. It's the mother with 3 kids that's living paycheck to paycheck, working really hard, that's looking for a hedge on inflation. This is affecting everyone on a global scale. We know it's a fantastic product. That the narrative has slipped a bit, but I know we can find our floor. We can honor all of our investors. We can take pressure off of the liquidity with our new offering that's coming to the table. And these contracts continue. They have their life, and it's a long-term life. I'm proud of everyone here for everything they've done. I just really want to thank everybody and applaud you. I know we have another one of our great resident whales here, Mr. Ryan McGeorge. I know it's late where he is, and he might not be able to speak, but if he can, is he still here with us? There's so many folks, 111. Ryan, if you're able to speak, I'll give you 10 seconds to unmute your mic. Everyone's been collaborating, contacting us, offering ideas, showing support. It's really been overwhelming, the amount of love. Yes, go ahead.
I have a couple points, just 2 questions. First question, did you consider, for example, to temporarily have, I know that there is only 200 ARK limit per day, every 24 hours. Maybe you could do it at 100 to slow down until you get to launch the projects and, have the the plan kick in.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, sir. The reason is that is changing the rules of the game. That is changing the white paper. It is not our intention to put anyone hostage into limiting their sales or doing 20, 30% taxes. We've seen teams and developers betray their communities to look out for themselves.
And several projects, they just keep changing and changing.
We will not do that.
Names, but okay, that's done. That's okay.
We will not
point
do that,
number
sir.
one. Point number 2. When would the pre-sale, or how the investor, if I have a couple hundred ARKs, for example, I collected a couple hundred, maybe 500 ARKs in maybe 3-4 days or 1 week, I don't know. From my 2% rewards, half of it, for example, at a ratio of 1, and then hold half. So I say I have 400 or 500. Now, when can I be coming into the new pre-sale or pre-seed or wherever they call it? When would that be? And would it be from the same UI? It would be from the same place, or we have to connect to our wallet to somewhere else? I've been missing some of the podcasts, so I've
It'll be
have been
inside
very
of the same D app.
not very educated.
Yeah. That's fine, sir. And this is a fantastic question. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm sure a lot of folks have the same on their mind. Look, that's the game theory. How much do you want to allocate towards the pre-seed contract? How much do you want to keep here in the system? Continuing with your strategy in ArkFi. We also had the idea of being able, as you can, redeposit, you can claim compound, of adding a simple solution in the D app where you could allocate to transfer the tokens or deposit the tokens into the pre-seed contract. However, we would have to relaunch the vault contract, and we don't want to do that. So the way you're going to be able to do that is to hold the tokens in your wallet. We're estimating about, let's say, 10 to 15 days, because we want to educate everyone, show them the opportunity so that they have all the information so they are able to make the best decision for their investment, do their due diligence, learn about zero knowledge.
The thing is, you have to collect ARK.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's the correct approach.
Okay. So we are yet to discover whether it is in the. You just have to keep it in the wallet, in the MetaMask wallet, or on the same ARK UI. Like, so you collect there like every day, like 20, 30, 40. So then it is like 200 that either you sell or wait.
It is there. Correct. And then what you do when the contract's already been built, I think 10 days. So what we want to do is educate everyone. Have you look at all of the content, zero knowledge, understand why the move, how is this going to be viable? Is this a good opportunity? And we want you to make your own decision. So we want to give everyone time. We don't want anyone crying later, showing up, hey, I didn't hear about this. I didn't have an opportunity. I was forced into this, or, that doesn't qualify, because we're not forcing anyone. We're giving every single investor the option, but giving anyone and everyone enough time to do that. And then when it's time to go into the contract, you would simply transfer with zero tax your ArkFi tokens to the contract and be credited.
Okay. And then what can you speak some more about so for example, we're 5,000. So for example, let's assume we start with like 50,000 ARKs going to this project, for example. Then the project starts. What is the project? It is a private token. What is the utility, and how does it you earn? You were talking about 15 months. I didn't understand. I've been listening for like 1.5 hours. Are you going to have a session separately for this, explaining about the new project?
Yes, and that's what these 10 to 15 days are about. So you have all of the information. You're going to also have the opportunity to see the tokenomics of the token that you're going to be receiving, and how this all works, how this all plays out. So we're going to use this period to allow folks to make their decisions during that time, and then be able to come into the contract and participate. And once you do that, you're earning rewards and you're getting paid out your BUSD, and you're going to have compounding abilities as well to grow that investment. So as you stay tuned and you come to the podcast, they're recorded as well. We're going to be offering more information. We're going to be doing a light paper on how this new contract works, and get everyone really up to speed and educated.
So is it a new ROI contract, or is it a token like it's just another new ROI contract, or it's a token with a utility?
No, this is a contract where you're going to come in and have your place in the pre-seed. You're still going to be earning ROI, and then you're also going to be receiving and seeing there in that dashboard the ArkNet token that's going to be awarded to you according to how much you put in each round of that pre-seed.
From the
Brett, do you want to answer that?
Tokens that we have.
That's correct, sir. What you have deposited, yes. Is there anything I'm leaving out there, Brett?
Yeah.
No, he said from the ArkNet tokens that you have. You don't have any ArkNet tokens. You have ArkFi tokens, and you're depositing your ArkFi tokens into the pre-seed contract in order to get the new ArkNet tokens. It's a pre-sale function. It's a pre-sale.
So I got it. This I got. Now I'm asking about the ArkNet. Is it an ROI contract, or it is
no? The ArkNet token is a utility token. So people use the ArkNet token to pay for example.
This is my question. To do what?
Yeah. So I was just explaining. So people will use the ArkNet token to pay for various services, such as a distributed or decentralized VPN service, such as a decentralized file storage service. So the utility of the token will be to pay for certain privacy type of services. And then people can also operate a node, which is what Brett was talking about earlier. You can operate a node and provide those decentralized services to other users and earn the utility token for doing so. Make sense?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
I'm getting a lot of questions. I'm getting a lot of questions on my YouTube channel, on my YouTube stream.
Go ahead. Tell us.
Well, I just want to make it clear that this is an optional. First of all, this is a separate project. So we have ArkFi. And we're going to continue to have ArkFi. Nothing is changing with the ArkFi system. In fact, that's a good thing. You don't want the rules to change on you in the middle of the game. So nothing is changing with ArkFi. It's not going anywhere. I had people saying, "Oh my God, I won't be able to withdraw anymore." No, you'll absolutely be able to withdraw your ArkFi tokens every day, just like always. You'll be able to sell your ArkFi tokens if you choose to. Every day, just like always. But there's a brand new project in the works being cooked up.
This project you cannot get unless you have ArkFi tokens, because I'm trying to see where the buyers will come.
Wait a second. So there is an opportunity to get in at the absolute ground floor of the new project, right? So the new project is ArkNet. It's a separate project. Separate from ArkFi, but your initial opportunity to get in on the ground floor of ArkNet is through ArkFi. Having a vault account, stacking the ArkFi tokens that you get from your Ark Vault account, and then depositing those ArkFi tokens into the pre-seed contract. Absolutely the best, lowest price opportunity for you to get in on the new ArkNet token.
Got it. Yes, continue. I like your explanation. It's perfect. I understand. I just,
Drip guide
and then
on
you deposit,
YouTube.
and then we go 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, and then the project starts, and then the project starts. 1 round, 2 round, 3 round, project starts.
There's the pre-seed round, and then I don't know exactly how many private rounds we're going to have. Probably 2 or 3, right, Atlas? 2 or 3 private raise rounds.
Correct.
And then, and here's the other thing too. I wanted to mention this when I think it was By Dips was talking earlier, that the public launch. If any of you have ever participated in a public launch of a new token, the initial price lasts only as long as that very first swap in the decentralized exchange. So like, for example, I think the token price, I think the token for Animal Farm launched at like $4 or something like that. But it was only $4 for the very first swap. When it goes public, that means anybody on the interwebs can buy the token from that exchange. And so that price doesn't last. So the fact that we're getting in, through the pre-seed contract, we're getting in at a 5 times lower price then that initial public launch price, that's only just the beginning.
So let's assume in 15 days that, let's assume, okay, and I don't want to be saying something bad luck. Let's assume the ArkFi token, it is $1 in 15 days or 50 cents. So it will be 5 times multiplied that amount, correct?
No. So you're conflating two different things. So as we begin to save up our ArkFi tokens, and then
yes,
maybe in 2 weeks the pre-seed contract, or 10 days, the pre-seed contract launches. Okay, so day one of the pre-seed contract is where we are. Now on that day one, all the ArkFi tokens that you have saved up in your wallet, you would then deposit those into the pre-seed contract. And for each token that you do that with, each token that you deposit, you get credited $5 of value in that pre-seed contract. And then day two, you're still getting credited $5 of value for each ArkFi token that you deposit into the pre-seed contract. After somewhere between 4 and maybe 10 days, depending on the participation, that opportunity will go away. And rather than getting credited $5 for each ArkFi token that you deposit into the pre-seed contract, you will get credited with the actual price value of the ArkFi token that you deposit after that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, as a value and the ArkNet token. Each token will be $5 for the launch, and then it will go up accordingly.
So we don't know yet what the ArkNet token is going to be priced at. But let's say, you're in the pre-seed contract, right? You're in the pre-seed contract, and let's say you've saved up $100, okay? And then the development team, the ArkFi team, comes out and says, okay, we've decided on our initial pre-seed price, it's $1. So great. So you have $100 saved up in your pre-seed contract balance. And they've said that the price is going to be $1. So you've effectively just bought 100 ArkNet tokens, right? Then we're going to have a private round. The price is going to be higher. Then we're going to have another private round. The price is going to be higher. Then we're going to have maybe a third private round. The price keeps going up, and then we'll have the public launch, and that's when we get the 5x our value. So we paid $1 for the token, and at the public launch, the initial price for that first swap is $5. Now this is open to the public at this point, so it's open for trading.
Excuse me, Brandon. Sorry, Atlas. Answer me this one question: who's housing the master node?
What?
I didn't ask you. I asked Atlas. Who's housing the master node for the seed phrases? Okay, that's all I need to know. Thanks, bro.
Continue, Brandon.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. So, and that's just an example. But so whatever price you effectively get by saving up money in your pre-seed contract, when the actual ArkNet token is launched to the public and open for public trading, the initial price will be 5 times higher what you paid through the pre-seed contract. And assuming there's a decent amount of demand for this brand new token and this brand new utility, then the price would only go up from there. So the 5x.
But then Atlas was mentioning that you can't sell for 15 months. You can sell 7% or 6%, depending. That point I didn't understand, Atlas. I'm sorry.
So you'll be able to sell a portion of your tokens after month 1, and a portion more after month 2, and a portion more after month 3. And by the time you get 15 months into it, you will have been able to sell all of your tokens if you so decide.
All right.
I mean, crypto is mainly a hodling game, at least in my opinion. The biggest gains you're going to get traditionally is from hodling rather than trading
And
in
that
and
will be
out.
in a
So
separate UI, Brandon, correct? The token, the
completely
ArkNet will be
separate.
separate,
It's a
separate
completely
project.
separate project. Yeah, totally
Oh,
separate.
okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So we'll be transferring our tokens to the pre-sale, to the pre-seed, and then pre-sale from thereafter. We will be knowing exactly how many tokens we're getting, right? And the pre-sale, because the price is going to go up, like you said, every pre-sale, like exactly like ArkFi, and then it will go to the new project as another UI separate project. So you're talking, what's the timeline for this to happen?
We have a roadmap that we're going to share with you, and there's a lot more to this. And look, there's something that we want to point out here, very important, that through the products that are going to be released with the on-off ramps, as well as the DVPN, all of the profits are coming back here to the whole ecosystem, 33.3% to support the intelligent liquidity controller on the ROI DApp. You're also going to see the legacy NFT holders receive 33.3% of those revenues back here to support liquidity, bringing the cash flow. And you're going to have 33.3% going to Treasury. So we could develop, we could continue to do our marketing and expand on everything that we have in that roadmap. So this is a fantastic opportunity. We're so glad to have so many of you folks that have kind of just been away from home here on the ARK. Come back, get involved. We seem to have garnered your fantastic attention, and we want to thank you for everything that you've done for ARK, and spend some time. We're going to be posting links here for everyone to get up to speed. There's so much content, there's so much information, so many videos, Medium articles on how this all really unfolds and comes together, and the opportunities that are really here before us. It's the work that's been taking place all these months. So, a bit of a distraction today. I think that our offering brings balance, brings the investors, the whales, a opportunity to enter into the next level, the next round. But it all really comes to support everything that we're building. For not a second, I want anyone to think that we're abandoning. On the contrary, we're gearing up through our Zoom presentations, different languages, tapping into multi-level marketing, affiliate programs, bringing so many more investors through the mobile application to the ROI DApp. This is right now the heart and soul, and these separate projects and businesses are to add value. VPN is a product that people use on a daily basis, and we understand the exit strategies here. We understand the value of what we're building. September 2021, ExpressVPN was purchased by an Israeli company for $896 billion. You can go ahead and Google that. That's, $896 million. That's almost $1 billion. So there is absolutely a market there. If you're looking at what's happening with the U.S. government and wanting to not kill crypto, but in our opinion, control crypto, controlling on and off ramps, targeting Binance Smart Chain. If you spend some time looking at the material, I think you would understand why we're doing what we're doing. This is not, something that we just had the idea yesterday and, hey, let's go out and throw this out there. This is months and months of work, just like it took us 10 months to create and really build what you have here today, these smart contracts that are, until just yesterday, functioning at a optimum level, providing passive income sustainability for every investor that has been here. And I think everyone can look around the room and have seen an amazing community. There's no toxicity here into this project at any point, just respect and appreciation, growth, education. And we're going to continue on that path. We're going to continue to support and grow. We have an AMA tour that's going to be coming with our on-off ramps, highlighting the legacy NFTs where you're a partner into the whole ecosystem. There's going to be opportunities for folks to DCA. There's going to be opportunities for folks to get in through this volatility. And we understand not everyone's going to want to come into the ArkNet system. That's completely fine. They'll be able to stay here and continue to play their game the way they've been doing it. We're going to see how everything balances out here very, very shortly. And with that, our intention is to find the floor, secure our great investors, value and honor their ArkFi tokens at $5, and continue pushing full steam ahead.
So suppose, Atlas, suppose 2 months from now, I'm sure that a lot of people have these queries, so I'll ask the questions. Suppose a couple of months from now, 1 month or 2 months, this ArkNet is launched completely. And it start growing, trading, using the utility. Then the people will have to buy ArkNet from the swap, like normal token, without nothing to do with ARK, like separate project. Now, my question to you is, how would that be benefiting ARK ecosystem after it is out and running? It's just a one-off project, then and it's gone, or it's just continuing to add to ARK?
It's a business, first of all, and the business generates revenue for its investors. That revenue is coming back, as I just explained, legacy NFT holders, as well as the ILC. So if you have a legacy NFT, you're participating in all that. If you want to pay for these services, or you want to earn by sharing your bandwidth and seeding your connection through the decentralized VPN, you're going to be earning that utility token. If you hold that utility token, you're going to have discounts on using our on and off ramps, as well as cashback opportunities if you're holding X amount of that utility token. And of course, if you're bought in and you got in at the pre-seed round, you're sitting in a very advantageous position in the whole system. With really, you can't measure what the growth potential could be through time. Yeah, so that's the 100x, that's the 1000x opportunity. And we're seeing, I really need to touch on this. One of the things that we've been noticing is that a lot of investors at ARK are doing very well financially. Their passive income is coming in, but they're lured into other projects and tokens that have that go to the moon potential. And we want to offer here in-house at ARK the opportunity for a token to really give you massive returns. You have the safe, slow ROI DApp system. We also want to give you the exposure to having great gains here with a team that's forward-facing every single day. So we've built the confidence. We've proven a lot today, and we still have a lot more to prove.
May I have a comment?
Go ahead, Yudaman. Go ahead, Yudaman.
Yes,
and Nawaf, I appreciate your questions, but I do want to open up. We have 100 people here.
Sure, thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. So, so I have two comments. I've been listening to this for a while, patiently. And then I think I appreciate Atlas and Brett and any other team members answering every questions very patiently. And I really appreciate your effort. But for our side, we should be respectful for the team because we are repeating the question and over. I remember I'm just today itself, same questions, maybe 3 times over and over. So I don't know, maybe they are just coming in right now and throw a question, but when you hear this podcast patiently, all the purpose of the utility tokens and everything else are repeated, answered by committee members and drip guide, he answered questions. So I think we should be more respectful. I know you saw the ILC reserve decreased, but there might be an opportunity for someone who wants to get in. So we should not be frustrated or anxious or nervous, and we should be calm, cool, and collected. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Yudaman. And look, if I may, the patience comes from true empathy and understanding that there's a lot of investors who are just kind of waking up to, hey, what's going on with the price over there at ARK? And they just haven't been in touch. And we need to understand that people have busy lives. They are not listening to the podcast, or they're not tuned into the Twitter, they're not into Discord, but they're invested here. They've put their hard-earned money, and we want to give everyone the opportunity to ask the questions and also tap into the information, the education, a lot of the material that's been created. So I think that we really owe it to everyone to bring them up to speed, give them enough time. And I think it's all coming from a good place. And I really like the questions, the vibes. But yes, of course, we want to open it up and let everyone really bring forward their feedback, their ideas, their critique if they have some as well. I know this is a difficult time for everyone that's invested here, but I'm 100% positive and certain that as a community, as a team, we're able to get through it and find the best solution that's fair, that's balanced, that no one really gets left behind. Go ahead, Mr. Sneaky Sash.
Yeah, with the VPN and also the ArkNet token, to purchase that at a public sale, for both of those things, do you need to have an ARK account, like an ARK vault, or will people just be able to purchase those things without having anything to do with the actual ARK system?
Great question. No, you do not need to have an ARK vault account. This is open to the public. That's a whole new audience of millions of people that use VPNs every single day. We have evidence that NordVPN and a lot of these companies, they log your IPs, they sell your information, and they're watching you more than protecting you. So there's a great story to be told, a lot of opportunity. You know, ideally, we'd even like to get as an advisor here Edward Snowden, who's a very big proponent of being private and having your information actually encrypted through the tunnels. And we want to combine that with the zero knowledge, which again is something that I invite every single investor to spend some time with us. Let us show you what is out there, what opportunities are there for us to build and create the future of tomorrow today.
Whoa. Did you just say, Dallas, we're going to get Snowden as an advisor?
That's on the short list. Absolutely. He would be an absolutely amazing advisor. He participates in conferences of crypto all around the world. He just was, over in Austin through Zoom, because he's pretty much locked in trying to stay safe in Russia. But he goes in through Zoom, and he's somebody that we would like to really attract over to this project to bring the message, as he's been really, in my opinion, personally, I think he's somebody that's been ousted and chased around the globe for exposing how the U.S. government has really violated privacy for its own people and other people around the globe. So it'd be fantastic for us.
Hugely positive. However, do you think that would bring heat on ARK from government entities and so forth?
It's a decentralized system, and that could, take you back a couple of years to, software such as LimeWire or Napster. That's kind of the core of how the system works, where you could be a seeder or a leecher. And, that's the beauty of Bitcoin, the decentralization of having so many validators out there and folks that are just using the network for their transactions, and folks that are contributing by bringing the computing power to offer the security of the network. And that's why it cannot be stopped. Obviously, personally, we have to be, very careful. But the encryption and the way that the system's built is to ensure that any user is really under the protection of the system, and then they're not, going to get a knock on the door tomorrow by using this. On the contrary, this is your way to really, tap into the privacy that is available to us all. And that's what we want to build on, and we want to offer to so many people.
question that I just got from my chat. So obviously the pre-seed contract is open only to people that have an ArkFi vault. The public sale will be, by definition, open to the public. What about the private pre-sales? Those 2 or 3 rounds of private pre-sales, how will people be able to participate in those?
It's open to the public. Everyone can come in.
So the private pre-sales are open to the public?
Correct.
Isn't it called private sale versus pre-sale?
Yeah, he's asking about like a private whitelist, and then we'll do the public pre-sales.
Right, but you don't have to have an ARK Vault account to come into the private.
Okay.
It's open to the public.
You can just bring your money. So the only one that requires an ArkFi Vault account is the pre-seed contract. That's the only one that requires an ArkFi Vault. This
is for our investor community. No one else, and I think that makes it extra fair and extra special.
Well, yeah, it's literally a brand new utility for the ArkFi token. So now we get to use our ArkFi tokens to play in the vault and to buy into this pre-sale function. It's a whole new, brand new utility that you guys are right about to add. Imminently adding, what, in like 7 to 10 days? You think that the pre-seed contract will deploy?
We want to give the community enough time to come here every single day and ask questions. There's over 5,200 investors now, so we think that's ample time. And we kindly ask that every single one of you reach out to your fellow investors, folks that you're in groups with, and bring them up to speed and have them come over here, ask questions. Every single day, 4 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. UTC. We do our podcast, we do the Spark Rewards, and we stay here after the recording for a Q&A. We don't leave till every question's answered. And Nato, going back to what you said, a VPN service is not illegal in any way, shape, or form. We're pretty certain of that. At least till now, there are some propositions to make VPNs illegal, and if that happens, I think that's where we're going to see a massive subscription and demand for the ArkNet VPN service. It's going to just blow up. But I don't want to fear monger, and I don't want to put high expectations. We have seen the narrative. We see what's going on. We think it'll be very extreme for the United States government to ban its citizens and residents from using VPN services. But if it does happen, boy, are we ready to receive them. Let's get this crypto. Getting a hot mic from somebody there. Hope you're cooking some nice dinner or lunch. Thank you, sir.
People, it's hard to find them.
I know. Welcome back home, folks. Welcome to the party. Who else has a question or a comment?
Hello. Sasquatch speaking.
What?
You said Sasquatch speaking.
Oh, hey. Oh, yeah, your son. I'm sorry. There's so many people I couldn't see where that was coming from. Hey, Rooster. Sasquatch in the house. Let's go.
He's been dying to say hello to you.
Hey, little buddy. Hope you're having a great day. I hope you were good to Mama on Mother's Day. and you're happy, calm, cool, and collected.
Yes.
All right,
Big
man.
things happening.
We'll let you go. He just had to get that out of the way.
Thank you, Rooster. Thank you, Rooster. He's one of our day one investors, and it's been such a great feeling to see everyone get the win, and I think we're just upping the ante and going to the next level, and we want to bring everybody along for this amazing ride. This team is delivering, working super hard, creative, attention to detail, quality of the product. I think there's no doubt as to the ability to deliver, and I think that's what's lacking in this space. A lot of folks overpromise, underdeliver, and people are just left waiting. Our initiative here, our integrity to bring to light, to follow the roadmap and deliver to our investors has been a huge priority for us. So thank you all for really giving us this opportunity and letting us, work so hard as we've been doing for you. Brandon, no more questions from the YouTubers?
No, all quiet on the YouTube front at the moment.
They're all stacking that ARK.
I just kind of summarized some things, that the pre-seed contract will be deployed in roughly 10 days, plus or minus, right? And people can start saving up their ArkFi tokens immediately.
It's already built. I think it's 10, 12 days that it's been there. Again, I wanna remind everyone it's the time to get all of the data out there and let everyone make their decision.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's why I said it exists. It just hasn't been deployed yet, and it will be deployed in, I think, roughly.
No, it's deployed. It's deployed and it's live.
Oh.
It's on the blockchain, verified. It's ready to go. I mean, we could go and deposit right now, but we don't want to do that. We don't want anyone feeling they got left out.
Right.
I want to be clear.
So then it's not yet been wired up to the somebody's hot micing. It's not been wired up to the front end yet.
All right, we're eating.
Admins, please. Admins, please.
Found him.
Thank you, sir.
Got him.
It's a bit distracting.
Sniper Mistletoe.
It's a race between me and Mistletoe every time it happens.
I usually beat both of you, by the way. I don't know if you noticed, but I usually am faster than you guys.
Yeah, well, I know someone's faster than me because I'm looking for it, and then I just see someone. I see them, and then they just go on mute, and I'm like, oh, someone got there.
That's me. 9 out of 10 times.
The contract is published, is deployed, but it's not yet wired up to our ArkFi dashboard, to our vault.
Yeah, we're not inviting folks to participate, and yes, we still have to build out the front end, which is pretty basic and simple. However, we want everyone to have all of the information so they can conduct their due diligence, ask all the questions, make their decision. It is a limited time opportunity, and for some folks, it's going to be a no-brainer. Hey, we're having volatility. We're finding our floor. We're rolling out the Zoom presentations and the Q&As and the one-on-one coaching that we've been doing and perfected here. We're hiring more coaches onto the team as we're speaking to a much bigger audience. And with regards to the folks that just want to continue in the ROI DAP and continue with their past and current strategy, or if they're changing things up, they have every absolute right and opportunity to go ahead and do so. There's no shame in the game.
For the $5 swap credit that you're honoring for 10 days, I believe you mentioned, Captain. Would you consider extending that if there was more demand, or if people express that interest, wanted more time?
I think it would probably be backwards if we have too much of a demand. We might want to find a cap to it, but there's also the option if there's not a huge subscription of leaving it open for some time. We just have to really let the investors make their decisions and show their hands and participate as they see best before we make those decisions.
I mean, if people wanted to get more in, but they have a limited rate, right, from the vault. So you would consider that, right? That's not a hard thing. Decided, yes.
I mean, yeah, we'd have to consider it, but I think it's going to come down to the participation. If there's a low participation, then we would probably extend it. If there's an oversubscription, then we'd have to figure out a balance. As again, we have liabilities. We have to pay every one of those investors out. So there has to be a reasonable, I think, give and take and finding that equilibrium where it also doesn't put too much strain on our future private rounds, because you have to think ahead. If we've given away too much to our seed investors, that might turn off also the private investors and the public investors that will come after. So it's I think a very complex balancing act, where we want to take care of the people here. We want to give them the opportunity, but we also don't want to just give the house away where it becomes obsolete for anyone else to have interest and find also value and an opportunity to grow and thrive.
Atlas, your mic is clicking a little bit.
That's why you have a cap as well. You're going to mention a cap, okay? And then since we're going to have a separate portal for the ArkNet, and this others asked before, which is appropriate to clarify, but there are still going to be benefits of ILC, for example, from ArkNet, like trading, transactions, etc. So could you clarify? You're not going to be just
30 seconds. I need to use the restroom real quick, folks. I'll be right back, and I'll reset my mic to come back in, as I believe it's having an issue.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, maybe if Brett wants to step in and answer that.
Oh, you know what I'm asking, right? The relationship, right, for ILC and benefits of the vault from trading or the ArkNet itself, like taxes, transaction fees. How's that poured back into the ILC?
Are you talking about just specific for the pre-seed round, or are you talking about once the token's out in the wild?
Both, I'd like to clarify. Early and later.
Okay. Yeah, for the pre-seed round, the tokens, the ArkFi tokens that you put into the pre-seed contract, those are going to be virtually burned back into the vault. So that's the real benefit there. Obviously taking sell pressure off the liquidity pool and all of those things. And then once the tokens are out on the wild, we're considering a sell tax. We just need to look into more about the exchange listings and things, but adding a sell tax and having a percentage go back to ArkFi for a buy back and virtual burn as well. If we have a sell tax on the token. So that would be the, obviously the underlying benefit would be also the access to the network for ArkFi to build our applications on. And that access being, a most favored nation in terms of pricing and everything else. So, yeah.
And when you spend the ArkNet on actual services, if you want to use the services, for example, then it would be burned, right? Because it's being spent. Yes.
We're looking at, obviously, when you pay with that token, it's going to be a portion going to rewards for the node operators, so that's how they get paid. So there's revenue in the system, and then a portion of that could be burned. Yes, we haven't gotten that far yet on the tokenomics, but we prefer to make it deflationary rather than inflationary. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it must be deflationary. You're going to have portion burning and cell tax you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, there's systems that are inflationary as well, and they inflate in order to be able to pay rewards to their node operators. But those node operators have requirements to be go through a validation process. They have to stake, and so in that staking, you're locking up tokens. So they consider that to be deflationary. There's a lot of marketing of deflationary and inflation, but we want it to be a deflationary system.
Sure, that's good. The preferred. Regarding the bank, the off-ramping and on-ramping fees, which are revenue, then it appears that two types of holdings would benefit from that: the NFTs, legacy NFTs, and holding the ArkNet, because a portion of, is that correct, or is it just the NFTs? Like the percentage of the revenue from fees off of the bank, on-ramping.
The ArkFi products, all of that profit margin flows back to ArkFi and the ILC and the legacy T. Nothing flows back to ArkNet. If it's an ArkFi application or ArkFi product, for example, you mentioned the off-ramp, that doesn't go to ArkNet, no. ArkNet ultimately has to stand on its own and generate its own revenue vis-a-vis the token and the service that's paid for the network.
Okay, it'll just appreciate based on demand. It's not pegged or rewarded. There's no dividends coming from anything like that. It's just you're holding it.
Not from ArkFi products. Ultimately, if you want to look at it this way, ArkFi is a customer, or yes, ArkFi ultimately becomes a customer of ArkNet, because ArkNet is the underlying network that's selling the network services to ArkFi.
Mr. Toad, is my microphone back to normal?
You are better, sir.
Thanks. Good looking out there, buddy. Thank you.
No problem.
Man, what's happening with Spark rewards? Sheesh. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Yeah, we're not going to do it yet. Let's take a look here. Do it this way. 642.20, and tomorrow we're going to make a decision as to probably spinning maybe 3 ways or 4 ways to Spark rewards to, I think, incentivize a lot of holding the floor on the foundation, giving people more chances to get in. The prices are really growing exponentially, and there's been a lot of questions and talks about going ahead and doing that, and also maintaining or increasing the MVP. So please stay tuned for that. Any other questions or comments? We'd love to hear from you. I think tonight we're not going to obviously do the breathing sessions. We're going into the wee hours of the podcast. It is very important, as we have a lot to share with the community today. Answer a lot of questions, and show the opportunities too of everything that's happening here in the whole ecosystem. Let's check in here real quick. There we go. All right. I think we'll also skip all aboard for tonight, Coach Brad.
Okay, sir. Yeah, it's midnight here, so we've got a good video lined up for tomorrow.
Yes, and in the interest of also folks that are listening to the recording to get the information, we want to try to keep it condensed. So let's do about another 15, maybe 10 minutes max of questions and answers if they're needed. And then we'll go ahead and release the spark for this evening.
No condensing.
Is there anyone else?
2 hours, 44 minutes already.
Yeah, that's
right. It was important.
Sorry, Coach Roberto. We'll do the breathing session. I mean, I was busy today. I didn't even do my other breathing session that I do on Mondays today. Too much to do.
You always should breathe. You always at least breathe and quiet down a little bit in these situations, so you can be clear in what you're doing. But I have a question from a beginner. So the ARK DOI right now, like the return. If I just stay with the 1% that I have now, eventually I get my 80,000 ARKs.
Yeah, everyone has the same opportunity to get to the max wallet.
Okay, so
you don't lose that ability.
Yeah, but that is based. It could be $80,000, or it could be $450,000, and then you take off the taxes. Right? Depends what happens to the price of the ARK.
Due time, absolutely.
Okay, so and it's just a question like, some of the people that I have, it's you're going to keep getting your ARKs, maybe at a slower, like right now, right? I was compounding 1% close to $14,000, and now it's 1% of $8,000. But I'm still generating income, and it just takes me longer to get my payout. Correct? Is that?
Correct. You're earning as the price lowers, you're earning less
right
in the system, okay. and being able to withdraw less BUSD. For the folks that are coming in and buying lower, they're entering at a lower rate, and the opportunity of upside potential is attractive. Yes. Getting back to our very very fantastic price that we're holding, but it's gonna take a lot of pulling. It's gonna take the village. It's gonna take for everyone to calm down and find that floor. So I would suggest for people, for this, next, 48 hours or so, to just sit back and let this adjustment come. We're pulling liquidity to ensure and guarantee the payouts to the folks that are coming into the pre-seed round. So that's going to, create volatility on the price to the lower side, as well as when buys come in, it's going to be a lot more volatile to the upside, which I think is going to be exciting as well. When we find that floor, everybody's calm, everybody's comfortable again, and then we start to rally and go there. And yeah, how we do it here. It's the race, right? It's the race again, and the growth potential, and this community is absolutely amazing when it comes to the organic growth. But we're turning it up a notch with the AMA tours, the marketing, showing these products on and off ramps, exposing the future of ARK getting into the Polygon ZK EVM network and building on there. So there's a lot to offer for so many different types of investors that are just not ROI DApp investors. That's always been the plan here for growth.
Great. This reminds me like it's like 10 times the .com days.
Welcome to the Wild West of crypto, brother. Never a big day, never a dull moment. Happy days.
Yeah. I had a cousin that he had a company, and some people came in and offered him his part would have been making $60 million. And there was 10 board of directors, and they voted against it because they thought they were going to get $100 million each, a week later, right? And then the whole thing just dropped and nobody got anything.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. So we like our proposition, and we hope it's well received, and we're going to continue to point everyone in the right direction, answer all the questions. It's great to see the interest. I know folks have been, really not so focused, because we have, I think, on average, 40 participants in the podcast every single day, and there's we don't really know how to measure how many people listen to it. We get a lot of DMs, a lot of thank yous. There's a lot of folks that are sleeping at this time, so they listen to it later. But we want to push our communication out. Also on the D app, put some notifications, let people know, hey, please do come get information, look at the YouTube video, look at the Medium articles. So, these are going to be days of a lot of hard work, and letting everyone know what's happening and how they could, create a new strategy of how they're going to move forward.
I believe on all the projects, on the team, and the community. So everything to me is like, let's move forward and, be cool, calm, and connected.
Happy.
You've been learning a lot. Go ahead, Dino.
Happy. What kind of breathing exercises do you think are appropriate for a situation where people are more stressed or worried, have increasing worry, such as something like the ILC, or the price coming down a little bit?
That's slow and full and low. So it's like doing like 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, but in belly breathing. Nice and slow, and if you do that, like 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, that's like 6 breaths per minute.
Yeah.
And it helps you get your nervous system down to parasympathetic, and it helps you get anxiety off, and you get clear, connected, creative, and breathing through the nose, let it out through the mouth. But you take like a count of 5 in, then 5 count out, and you do that 6 times. That's a minute. So you're breathing 6 breaths per minute. It's called a coherent breath.
All right, folks, let's get focused. We have the Spark Prize to unleash. We'll be back tomorrow. Also, back I think to our regular programming, as we like to do, a 1 hour podcast. But let's just give it another couple of questions. If anyone has a question, this is the time before we go ahead and conclude the recording, do the Spark.
What
All
was
right,
the breathing called? Coherent breathing? I need that. Oh.
All right, let's make it happen. All right, here we go, folks. We wish all of you the best of luck today on the Spark Prize. Let's see who's going to go into the Nitro mode.
the music.
Who is it going to be?
Here, Sparky, Sparky, Sparky. Here, Sparky, Sparky, Sparky.
Come on, Sparky.
Oi, governor! It's a no-brainer. Give it to Sneaky.
That was a good one.
We have no music atlas. If there's meant to be music, there isn't any, just so you know.
Oh, there's not. Hold on a second.
I was humming it to myself. I remember the song.
Everybody's got it memorized. Give me a second, guys. Yeah, there's something happening here. Is it fixed now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks for your patience. I'm in the safe, and the transaction's like holding up. Just bear with me. And there it is, folks. Give us a second. It's almost there. There we go. Today's Spark Prize winner, their wallet is ending in E43F. They won 580.01 ARK. That's a street value of $2,220.09. They're a first-time winner, and our MVP for today, their wallet ends in 7F1864.45 ARK, and they've won 246.68. That's you, Brandon?
That's me. That is me. That's
MVP. Let's go.
MVP. Let's go.
Bullish.
I didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize it the first time I got that MVP. But all right, nice. That makes it all worth it. 3 hour and 6 minute stream so far. I got to be honest. I'm getting a little bit sleepy.
Thank you, man. You're a trooper, and man, you know the love we have for you here on the ARK, man. All the work you've done, all the education, and really a great leader in our community. We thank you for all your support. And yeah, folks, let's go out there, spread the message, share the information with folks. Get yourself up to speed. If you don't know a lot of the things we're talking about, zero knowledge, Polygon, ZK-EVM, on-off ramps, virtual cards, what the AIR card's all about. We're here to answer that and help everybody get up to speed. So thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and conclude the recording for tonight. Thank you again, Brandon, for streaming this on YouTube. We want to start putting also on the official ARK YouTube channel this information so that it'll be easier for a lot of folks to go through and break it up to chapters as the podcast has different sections like the yellow board.
Absolutely, my pleasure. The Wonder Woman who does my time codes will have her work cut out for her on this one, but totally my pleasure. And I will drop off of the podcast in a moment, and I will continue the party over here on YouTube for a little bit longer. See if there's any more questions, and maybe talk a little bit about the ILC and kind of explain what's going on and stuff like that. So yeah, amazing, good podcast, tons of alpha, and happy to be a part of it.
Stack those ArkFi tokens. It's a no-brainer. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, your morning, your evening, afternoon. Take care of each other. Be good to each other. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. UTC. For those listening, thank you also for your participation in tonight's podcast. And it was very long. We haven't done a 3-4 hour one in quite some time, but it's a lot of important information that affects everybody here. And we all need to understand our strategy and how we're going to move forward and rise together. Thank you.